I found out, same way you guys did, and I'm extremely happy for them. I'm not going to get too much more into their personal life, but just know I'm extremely happy for them. I'm sure everybody is. So it's a beautiful thing, and really, really happy for them.
As we all are, we say hello to our NFL analyst, Booger McFarland, and NFL reporter, Jeff Darlington. Boog, I'm going to start with you. So Travis Kelce, he's giving out rings and also looking to get one himself, his 4th Super Bowl ring. Do you think he will get that this season?
Well, it's going to be a little tougher this year. I think there are several teams in the AFC that have gotten a lot better. You look at Baltimore, you look at Buffalo, you look at what they're doing out in Los Angeles. I think when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, their offensive line has to be revamped, and I think they've done that. They're putting a lot of pressure on a rookie at left tackle in Josh Simmons. By all accounts, he's had a masterful camp. He's done well. If the offensive line can hold up, we know what Patrick Mahomes is going to give us. Travis Kelce is in shape. He's lost weight. He's in love. He should be in a phenomenal move. I think they'll be able to score points, and we know what Spags is going to do on defense. They will be right there in the end, as they've been the last few years, and as long as the ball will bounce their way and the offensive line can stay healthy, they have as good a chance as anybody in the AFC.
All right, Kansas City has the 4th shortest odds to win the Super Bowl at ESPN Sportsbook. So, Jeff, not long ago, Rashee Rice accepted a 6-game suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy. What more can you share about this situation and how it affects the team?
Well, this is significant on a number of levels. The first of which is that this 6-game suspension will start at the beginning of the season. This was not initially the expectation because he was not set to have his arbitration hearing until the end of September, which meant the suspension was likely to happen in the middle of the season. You can obviously look at this a number of different ways, perhaps beneficial from the standpoint that this is a Chiefs team who generally finds their way into the playoffs, and by that point, Rice will be on the field. This is all stemming from a violation of the personal conduct policy related to 2 felony counts in a car crash that he was part of in 2024. So he's going to eventually have to serve 30 days in jail. A judge said that he could serve those 30 days, timing that he wishes to do. So that doesn't have to happen during the season, but the 6-game suspension does, and it will start week 1 of this regular season.
All right, so more big news out of Kansas City. Guys, so we got the news of a reunion and a union. Today, the Vikings are bringing back Adam Thielen in trade with the Panthers. His return is expected to alleviate a lack of receiver depth in Minnesota because of Jordan Addison's 3-game suspension and a series of injuries to other receivers in camp. Thielen will have a chance to finish his career in the state where he was born, raised, and played 10 of his 12 NFL seasons. And check this out. No one may be happier than Adam's family and wife, Caitlin, who was also born and raised in Minnesota. The caption reading, "Real-time excitement. Wow, we can't believe it." Booger, how do you think that J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings offense will benefit from a vet like Thielen being on that team?
Well, I think it's no doubt. To me, this is a win-win on both sides. He gets out of Carolina, he gets to go back to Minnesota, and we know the familiarity that he had there. And Jordan Addison is not going to be there. So you got Justin Jefferson, who's going to take all the coverage, and now you just need a savvy veteran like Adam Thielen who can win one-on-one coverage underneath. You got Hawkinson at tight end, and so for J.J. McCarthy, who's making his swan song as far as being a first-year starter, he's got 2 guys that can kind of work the underneath in Hawkinson and Adam Thielen. To me, this is the best of both worlds. You get a guy that wants to come back home who can also help a young team and a young quarterback. They have to be tickle pink in Minnesota right now.
I do want to also mention that Thielen spent time with McCarthy the last 2 summers as a part of a group of players working out together before training camp, so they are familiar with one another. Jeff, let's talk about his former quarterback, Bryce Young. It seemed like they had a solid connection towards the end of last season. Why did Carolina decide to send their most productive receiving target to Minnesota?
It's a great question. It's the question of this trade because Adam Thielen also played really well with Bryce Young 2 years ago. It was one of the bright spots of that season. Now they've shipped him off because ultimately they believe in their young receiving core. They have invested first-round picks each of the last 2 drafts in wide receivers. they ultimately think that this is the group that's going to push them forward with Young. But I will say they also waived Hunter Renfrow, so they really don't have the type of veteran presence in that core for Bryce Young to perhaps rely on. There was a while here where we thought that the Vikings, we knew they wanted Thielen. We didn't think that the Panthers would trade him because of this very situation. Now, though, Bryce Young will have to be the big man in that locker room and really find a way to connect with some of these younger wide receivers.
Yeah, you saw the ages on the screen there. The Panthers didn't have a single player with more than 84 targets. Lassen's saga, still no deal. No real talks even. Micah's already asked for a trade, scrubbed the Cowboys from his social media, even lounged on a training table during Friday's preseason game. Coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke about Parsons playing.
Mike and I had a long conversation, probably talked for an hour about a lot of different things and addressed a number of different issues and things like that. And at this point, I'm going to keep that between he and I. But we had a very, very good conversation. At the end of the day, as soon as he get out there, that's great. But again, there'll be a ramp-up plan for him. And when he lines up out there to play, do I think he would play 75 plays in every play? Probably not. I don't think that that's real. But I do think that he can be very disruptive, like we all know.
All right, NFL analyst Booger McFarland is back with us. Okay, so Boog, we're just 8 days until the Cowboys meet the Eagles in Philly. How much of a ramp-up period do you think that Micah Parsons needs in order to play?
Well, I don't think he needs that much of a ramp-up period to play, but playing the entire game is probably out of the question at this moment because as a football player, you have to get your body in shape to take the contact. And I just don't know if there's enough time for him to take that contact and callus where his body can adjust. Now, he can be on a pitch count. So if he were to get signed, let's say this weekend, and get out and practice on Monday, he could probably be in for 15 to 20 snaps. Anything past that, you're risking injury. Let's not forget, when Darrelle Revis held out, he came back, he pulled a hamstring. Now, on the other side, we've seen Aaron Donald hold out to come back to have a career year. So everybody's body is differently, but by and large, if the Cowboys want to be safe and have Micah Parsons for 17 games and not just one game, you don't want to put him out there and play the entire game. He's probably only going, even if he were signed right now, he's probably only going to play in certain situations to rush the passer, but even with that being said, a Micah Parsons for 20 to 25 plays is better than no Micah Parsons at all.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Cowboys are back on the field on Friday. They have 4 total practices before
goes on. And today we're spotlighting NFL player props, and who better than to have our sports betting analyst Joe Fortenbaugh here in studio with me.
A lot of options out there that are better, but I'm thankful you settled on me.
You know what? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, two of the most electric quarterbacks in the NFL. What will you be betting on and rooting for when you watch them on the field?
I think there are opportunities to bet against both guys this year, starting with Lamar Jackson. His touchdown prop, 28.5. Now, he eclipsed this just one time in 6 seasons prior to last year when he rolled up 41 touchdowns, a career high. As a result, the bookmakers inflated the price this year, which gives us an opportunity to find some value betting the under. Keep in mind, this is a tough number to hit. An average of about 6 quarterbacks per year are crossing this threshold since the NFL went to a 17-game regular season.